EA Sports. It's in the game. Here's NHL 19. This is the latest entry in the long-running hockey simulation from EA Sports, obviously. And I've been playing hockey my entire life, so I'm really excited to jump into this one again, as I am every year, to see the improvements. And generally with this year, I'd say this is the complete version of the hockey experience. So last year, they finally caught up on the modes that they were missing from the years previous. It's been a slow build. And this year, they actually advanced them with the World of Chell, which is what we're going to go over a bit later, as the World of Chell is an expansive and big new part of the game. So first off, you're able to pin modes that you like at the top. I play a lot of just exhibition when I have a free time. I want to just play the game. Online versus when I want to play a friend, obviously online quickly. And threes was a lot of fun, but I definitely think threes is a little bit better in the World of Chell. So in threes, you're able to play as like the mascots. You're able to do a fun little tour thing. It's very neat. So obviously there's a lot of other modes too. We've got Play Now. There's the franchise, if you want to have a franchise team. Hockey Ultimate Team, which is the card-based game with the microtransactions and everything like that, if that's your sort of thing. The Champions League, you can create your own team, create your own player. Tons of customization, which we'll go over in the World of Chell. It is crazy how many little things you can tweak in this one. There's practice mode if you need to get good. Threes we mentioned. Season modes, drafting champions, the shootout. Be a pro, where you can be your own player, whatever position you want. Basically, most of it's very similar to the past, and a lot of the time has again gone into the World of Chell. We also have a lot of legends included now, so that's really neat to see that aspect come into play again, as most of the sports titles seem to be embracing that. So last year I actually predicted who was going to play in the Cup. It was the Capitals, which is my favorite team that I follow, and the Vegas Knights. And I just want to say that my team is Stanley Cup champions. Yeah, I can't even express the emotion it is following a team for that long and actually seeing them win a cup. I didn't think it would happen. There's been so many close moments in the past. I'm like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? It happened. I was sitting there at the bar drinking with my friend. I was like, I can't believe this has happened. It happened. They won. They won the cup. It's crazy. That out of the way. So again, we've got the presentation here. This is on Xbox One X, which is 4K resolution, native. And there's no HDR support, which is a little bit disappointing, because it does make it feel a little bit, I don't know, not as authentic. I really love the implementation of HDR in the other EA Sports titles, and I'd really like them to do that. But I think it's because they really need to get going onto the Frostbite engine. So generally, the visuals are beautiful. It looks really good, guys. Visually, it's fantastic. It looks a little bit glowy and clean, but the visuals are just stunning. I remember playing NHL 07 back in the day, which was what I'd consider one of the big changes in the series, because they went to the skill stick and everything like that. That one looks so good, and now it's we have these we have these visuals. And you want to fight, or he's not fighting? Okay, he's glitching out. Okay. Anyways, so that leads me to my first point here. They still haven't fixed some of the problems I have with this game. That being the animations, the cutscenes are still really awkward looking. The player interactions, the bodies are kind of twitchy, and the jerseys bother the hell out of me. If there's one thing that I really want them to fix, it's the jerseys. They flop around like capes. That's not how jerseys work. I've played hockey for years, and I know for a fact that is not how the jerseys work in real life. And it's a distinct thing that's stuck out to me. I was at E3 a couple years back, where they had a member on on hand, the developer, and I was like, you guys have got to fix this. And he's just like, what's the problem? I'm like, no, it's a big issue. I was actually worried about this. They didn't have it at E3 this year, which was a little bit weird. At EA Play, they had NHL 18. So I was wondering, I was like, are they doing another NHL? But yeah, no, here it is. I'm really glad that they did, obviously, with the World of Chell being pretty cool. So there's a lot of customization options in this one, as far as settings, kind of picking the right tuning for whatever kind of playstyle you want. Turn off the trainer. It's just the stupidest thing in the world. I don't know why you'd want that on your screen at any time, so that's the first thing I do when I get these new NHL games. I think it's just stupid. I'm also not a fan of the presentation. This isn't like a review retractable thing or anything like that, but being a Canadian, I hate the NBC presentations. I don't like the doc. I don't care for his commentation, but they've done a lot better of a job this time. They got a lot more phrases. They seem to react more naturally, voice-wise, to the game that's being played. And I think they're better generally. But I'd love to see some Canadian representation. Hockey Night in Canada would be so cool to have. Before they're getting a little too old. Well, not Hockey Night. Well, I guess Hockey Night in Canada would be cool as a presentation. But I want Coach's Corner, which is what I'm trying to get across. It'd be nice to have that little touch to it to really make it feel authentic and more hockey-like, right? Because it's just weird having NBC for everything. Let's keep rolling here. Trying to play and talk is not the easiest. But anyways, I think it looks generally good. It plays quite well. I mean, the style of the game hasn't really changed much since they did the whole revolutionary upgrade. But the skating definitely feels more fine-tuned this time around, which is nice. Face-offs are smooth, they're natural. The character movements are good. The realism style that they've been working for, real player motion, seems to definitely be helping quite a bit with the character interactions. Crap. I still notice the AI is better, but I still notice times where it's like they shift when they shouldn't. Like there'll be a puck in play that's kind of sitting there, and they'll be shifting to go back on defense after a forward strike, and I still think that needs to be touched up. And again, I'm very hard on these games. Go! Because I have that connection to hockey, so it's very important to me. Because I remember when I was younger, and they'd go and you buy NHL every year because it's the thing, and then all the kids would play. You would all play online with each other. We'd talk about it. We'd go to each other's houses. We would play NHL, right? It was a big deal. It's one of the most played games I had when I was little. So I'm very hard on this series and this franchise because I've been playing them steady since 03 or something like that. It's been a long time. I did kind of move away from them a bit when I played other games, but I've been a lot more into it now that they've got the whole EA Access thing set up. I think that's a great way. And I actually did get this one to review, which was really nice because I've never actually received one of these titles. Go, go, go! And yeah, it's just presentation-wise, it's good. It feels like hockey. I love how the ice dynamically gets cut up as time goes by. I think they've really nailed that, but they've had that set for quite a few years at this point. And I think they're really starting to get that perfect level of hockey again. I remember the games being just so great, quality visuals, modes, and everything like that. And they're finally getting back up to that level. And I think the World of Chell is a nice evolution past that, really doing something new and fun. The threes was really cool last year. I love the idea of it. Just a little bit more casual hockey for players, that are maybe not so serious. That was a bad pass. I just kind of assumed somebody would be there. It's never a good idea. And it's a nice touch. I'm very excited to show off what it has. What the hell? Why wasn't there not a defense back at the point there? I'm getting too fancy. Now, I'm not a fan of the dump and chase. I know that's heresy to say in hockey, but I don't see the point in giving away the puck unless you're killing a penalty or you need to get it in there to change. I don't see the value in doing a dump and chase. That's just a personal thought. So going back to the visuals, I have noticed that on the sides it looks a little bit rough where the fans are. I think that could be smoothed out a bit visually, but generally the rink is very clean. The players, they look pretty good, especially in movement during regular play. It's really the animations that seem to have the problems. I think the fans are actually kind of realistic right now in the sense that they're just chilling out, because that's mostly what regular hockey looks like. They're not cheering all the time. It captures that well, little bits of cheers. I noticed the faces seem to be a little better too in the crowd. It's a little bit higher quality. I don't know if I'm crazy there, but I think they've definitely done a good job of making the crowds feel natural. Fighting is third person again. I've noticed that if you shoot the puck after the whistle, every single time someone will come and fight you. I guess that's sort of a thing to get us to stop doing that, because we always just mess around and we'd shoot the puck after. Everybody does it, online, offline. You just a little joke just to throw it away, right? Alright, so here's the after game. Another huge improvement I've seen is just how the presentation and visuals are set up, like with this feedback and information and everything like that. It's very clean. It feels modern. It looks cool. I really love the style they've gone with, because I remember like when the gen started, there was like these weird flaps they kind of had, like in the menus, and I didn't like the look of it. I thought it was like a neat change, but not something where, you know, this should be what we've ended up with. I think they got the UI really good in this one. Obviously, you know, you can dynamically change lines. There's replays if you need to do that. Go back and take a look at things. Very classic style. I think they've got the cool presentation done really well at the beginning, you know, where they show off the city and all that. I think that's a nice touch. Oh crap. And it does actually seem to be sort of optimized for the higher resolution this time around there. Because remember, the last NHL game had a, you know, post-launch 4K update, the enhancement, which was actually pretty good. I was impressed with that. Impressed with a lot of the enhancements on the console. I think it's getting a nice burst or boost generally for performance and quality. Damn it. And yeah, I'm just very impressed with this version of hockey. It's quite good. There's a lot to it. Okay, you know, normally the other teams are not that aggressive when they're holding the puck up there. It's bad passing by me, really. Yeah, the AI seems to be a little bit more responsive. I always turn off the AI learning though, because I like to be able to just play and not have to deal with that. So if you are having difficulties, that's something you can adjust. That seems to help quite a bit. I like to just have fun with it, you know. I want to have a good time playing the NHL games. Get a little bit of a challenge going on, but if I want a real challenge, I'll face off against others. The animation's just rough. Definitely need to be cleaned up. Yeah, we're just kind of playing it through. I think we're going to switch in a sec here so you can see the world of Chell and really get an idea of what that's like. I typically like to play a full match of a game, but time-wise, you know, we want to show off that other content. I love the new camera angles too; they're pretty fun. See the mascot in the corner there is pretty neat. That's not new this year, but you know, I like the addition of the mascot. So I could just say they're a little bit fun of a thing to have in the game, right? So we'll switch over now. Cool, so we're in the menu. I've got it pinned, World of Chell. So you jump in here, and this is about creating your own player and having your own sort of experience. It's supposed to be a sort of throwback to the rink, you know, where everybody starts, where you play in the pond, where you have fun with your friends. That's the idea of it. They put you in like these pristine outdoor arenas, but the idea is to get that feeling. They should have put snow around the banks. That would have felt better. So I got my character here. You unlock gear by opening hockey bags. Now this seems like a mode that is ripe for microtransactions, but currently there are none. And there are apparently no plans to do that. And I assume that has to do with the Battlefront thing back in the day, but it's cool, you know, it doesn't cost anything. Nobody has to pay anything to get better gear, even though this seems like the area that you would want to basically add that kind of thing, because it is all just cosmetic gear, but whatever, we're not going to complain. So you can do skater, player. There's loadouts for your characters, where you can choose kind of like, you know, your ability, enforcer stuff, your size, and it kind of adjusts your player's strength. But the real cool thing is in the customization. So you get progression awards, which are like the hockey bags. Again, you know, in the recent items, you open a bag, you get a bunch of cool stuff like this awesome flame stick, and you know, different rarity and everything like that. Again, it doesn't cost, you know, you don't have to pay for anything like that. You just earn it by playing. You customize your character in so many ways. So we're going to focus on my skater. This is the guy I've made. So yeah, there's a lot of customization. You can tweak your details, change your appearance. Lots of different options. Again, the hair seems to be glitched to being black in color. See, that works. And then it's like this one is dark and this one is dark. Really, I don't know if it just looks too dark, but it doesn't really look like a brown color to me. It looks like black. Lots of other options to tweak your physicality and your look and everything like that. You obviously do that a bit before going. You see a similar thing mirrored in the Be a Pro where everything's unlocked. So then you unlock gear. So gear can be like, oh, not the shoulder blades, jeez. You know, like helmets. See, there's a lot of different helmets. They've got so much customization in this. You can change your like skate and stick colors and your blade colors and put guards on and tweak your visor color. And it's ridiculous. I would have killed for this level of customization when I was younger. ear guards, visor tint. The mouth guard option is like basically to have a mouth guard hanging out of your mouth. It's just hilarious. Like I got like a great laugh out of this, and that's what it is. It's just like a mouth guard in your mouth, and you can change the color and like the tint, and you can change like the texture of the stick thing you have, like the stick texture, which is crazy. I mean, I'm just blown away by this stuff. Change the color of the tape. I've got lime green because I'm ridiculous, and you can change your stick tape. I mean, it's not all new, but the level of customization, it just seems so advanced. So with this being more of a rink stuff, you have a casual clothing. You know, you've got tops and bottoms and different toques you can unlock. There's, you know, the basically home and away you get to customize too. So you get jackets and parkas and hoodies, and you can change your pants, and you can have NHL style or you can have Chell style equipment, which is kind of what I'm wearing. The NHL style is like more professional, like, you know, team jerseys, everything like that. You can change your presentation, your cheers. You can make a custom goal sound. You can change your celebration. There's so many cellies, just ridiculous ones. You know, but a lot of them are, you know, iconic ones that you would recognize, and some are just ridiculous. The too hot one is funny. There's like tons. Like I've seen the kayak in action too, which is just hilarious. But you know, a bunch of different celebrations to do for goals. Tons of sound tweaks you can have. You can have different things it says when you score. And yeah, just a lot of options to customize the player however you'd like. I wanted to go over that because I think it's important for what people really, you know, like to do. They like to customize things, which is great. So in the world of Chell, you've got a bunch of different modes here. You've got your Pro-Am. You can play with stars and against the stars. There's ones, which is what we're going to play, and that's 1v1v1, 1v1v1, which is hilariously stupid, but it's neat. And then there's threes, which, you know, has your regular character jumping in 3-on-3, over the top action, really zany, really funny. If you found it last year, you'd know it this year. EASHL, something people love to play. It's like, you know, teams. It's more of like a realistic thing, but you're putting your players into the game. So we're doing this mode. You jump in, you match make. If you're playing threes, you kind of pick position, and then you search, and then stuff like that. It's really neat. I've had fun playing the world of Chell. I think it's a really good idea in the game. It's certainly new and different, and I think it's going to resonate a lot with fans of the sport and of the game, because it is, again, an evolution of, keep in mind we are kind of pre-launch, but it's like a soft launch because it's available for the Mega Edition or whatever. I have it to review. Then there's the EA Access players, and the population will be larger at launch anyways. So that is an evolution of 3-on-3s. I mean, NHL 3s was really cool last year. It was fun. Throw in the mascots, silly things, sort of campaign in there, a lot of different ways to play it. It's cool, right? I like the idea of it. I think it's fun. And World of Chell is really just an expansion on that with tons of customization, being your own character, seeing the outdoor rinks like they are. I mean, this is cool, right? But this mode is just so stupidly silly. Okay, I like the idea of it. I think it's fun. I think it's neat. You get to see your characters out there. But this is like not a situation that would ever happen on the outdoor rink. Like, I don't know about you, but there's never been a time in all of my years of going out to the outdoor rink where I thought, you know, it'd be really cool, guys, if we did just random chaos. Because that's what this is. It's like you rarely score, and it's just like people hitting each other and doing weird stuff. You know, it's kind of like a silly sort of thing. It's fun, and I get where it comes from. But yeah, it's just, and then the goalie with the toque and the outdoor game. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do they have the outdoor game in this one? Didn't even check on that. It's not a huge part of the review, so don't be critical about that aspect, guys. But yeah, you know, it's kind of like that responsiveness of the outdoor game where the goalie's like wearing a toque, and it's just, that was a goal? Wow. It's very, you know, like silly, and it's kind of like you can just hit people at any time. You know, there's no rules really, and it's just crazy. But there's never a time where I was outside where I'm like, you know what we should do, guys? We should cut the rink in half and do this. Like, what would usually happen is like one person would stand aside like a gentleman and let there be a one-on-one situation. That's what would happen. Jeez. But the, you know, the flow keeps going. It's really action-packed. I think people are gonna have fun playing this. Woo! Oh, I thought I changed my celebration. But yeah, you know, it's a neat idea. I like the style of it. I think World of Chell in general is a very good addition to the game. It's a lot of fun. It plays well. Lots of different options for different types of people. Tons of customization to make your own kind of character. And it really does fit into the sport well. And I don't think that any of the other EA Sports titles are doing anything that's quite similar. I mean, we don't have a narrative yet like FIFA or Madden has, which would be neat to see. You know, I'd really like to see that in a hockey game, like an actual story. But, you know, this is a fun thing that fits in with the sport well. It's silly, and it's just a nice little touch. I think generally NHL 19 is, you know, a good point where last year we finally caught up on all the modes and everything. We got a refined game. And this year seems to be really just building on that and doing new creative and fun things. Sure, there are still problems, and they do need to move on to Frostbite eventually, but for now, it's the best one they've put out this generation. It might be the best one they've ever done, actually. There's tons of customization, various improvements to the gameplay, tons of players. You've got legend players coming in there too, which is fun. Lots of little things to do in this. And it's just generally a really neat little experience that I think is definitely worth exploring if you're a fan of hockey, or if you've bought the games in the past and you're kind of on the edge as to whether or not this one is enough of an increment. And I think the World of Chell is a very compelling experience, and it just comes together really well. If you're on the 1X, the visuals are gorgeous. Oh crap. Is that a goal? What is happening here? What is the situation? What is this? Is that a goal? Did I win? Did he win? Okay.